Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. I'm so glad you could join me today for another simple and easy English lesson. In this video, we're going to look at a common mistake among English language learners regarding the preposition to. Now, I'm sure you'd agree that to is a preposition that we use a lot in our sentences. We use it to indicate direction or destination, or we also use it to indicate the receiver of an action. So it becomes very important to know when to use to in the sentence and when to use it after the verb. So we will have a look at a few sentences that show this type of mistake, and then we will try to see how we can make these sentences better. Actually, these sentences that I will show you were written by students. I also teach English online, and I often observe this type of mistake among my students. And so I made this video to share this grammar point with other English learners. And if you see that you also make the same mistake sometimes, then I hope this video will help you to come up with better sentences in the future. Okay, so anyway, let's get started.
Here we have 7 sentences that need just a bit of tweaking to make them correct. As mentioned a while ago, we are talking about the preposition to, so you probably already know how to fix these sentences. Let's have the first one. I've been listening his music for 5 years, but the correct sentence would be, I've been listening to his music for 5 years. When it comes to the verb listen, we use to after it when stating an object. We listen to someone or something. We listen to music. We listen to a speech. How about you try practicing using listen to by answering the following questions. What kind of music do you like listening to? And what kind of topics or lectures do you like listening to? You could also answer the opposite, which is what kind of music do you not like listening to, and what kind of lectures do you not like listening to? Moving on, let's take a look at the second sentence, which is actually very similar to the first one. It says here, I'm always listening 70s and 80s music. The correct sentence is, I'm always listening to 70s and 80s music. Just to hammer home this point, let's have one more sentence with the word listen. And this is sentence number 3. It says, I've just started listening Post Malone. The correct sentence should be, I've just started listening to Post Malone. So there you go. After these 3 examples using the phrase listen to, I hope you'll be able to use it correctly next time. The next sentence in our list is talking about a movie that I'm sure many people are familiar with. So it says, he came Marty's house from the future to warn him about something. It should be, he came to Marty's house from the future to warn him about something. Does anybody know what Back to the Future movie this is? I'm not exactly sure if it's part 2 or part 3. Anyway, regarding the verb come, we use a lot of different prepositions with it, but we would say come to a place when we mean arrive at that place or reach that place. Let's have a few examples from the book The Hobbit. At the beginning of the book, the dwarf Gloin says, in fact, if it had not been for the sign on the door, I should have been sure we had come to the wrong house. And Bilbo answers, I am quite sure you have come to the wrong house. Besides that conversation, here's another sentence that uses come to in the book. The dwarves then noticed that they had come to the edge of a ring where elf fires had been. On a side note, and in case you are curious, dwarfs was the standard plural form of the word dwarf. It was J.R.R. Tolkien, the author of the book The Hobbit, who popularized the plural form dwarves. Alright, I hope you have found these examples for come to a place useful. Let's move on to our next sentence. Number 5 is this one. There are no masks to export other countries. We should correct this to there are no masks to export to other countries. Please remember that a company or a country will export to another country. For example, the Philippines exports bananas and mangoes to other countries. Italy exports machinery and metal products as well as clothing and luxury goods to different countries around the world. How about you try using export to by answering the question, what does your country export to other countries? Please feel free to write your sentences in the comment section of this video. The next sentence shows a very common mistake that deserves a video of its own, so perhaps we will revisit this verb in another video later on. The sentence says, "It's my first time to go a concert." The sentence should be, "It's my first time to go to a concert." When talking about a specific place or event, we use the preposition to after verbs of movement such as go. As mentioned at the beginning of this video, we use to state a destination. For example, we go to a shopping mall. Someone goes to a wedding. People will go to the beach. To practice this pattern, how about answering this question? Where do you like to go when you want to relax? Example answers would be, I go to a park near my house. I go to my favorite bar after work. I go to this lovely cake shop near my office. So, do practice using the structure go to a specific place by trying out as many sentences as you can. We have reached our 7th and last sentence for today, which is this one. I have not replied her message yet. We should say, I have not replied to her message yet. We reply or respond to a message, a letter, an email, and so on. We reply to somebody or something. This means that we are giving a spoken or written answer. For example, do you reply or respond to emails as soon as you read them? I sometimes don't because, I like to say I tend to think too much. How about you? Anyway, we also reply or respond to questions, comments, compliments, and criticisms. How do you reply to criticisms? How do you reply to compliments? All right, that's the end of our sentence correction for today. Kindly note that to is not the only preposition that we use with these verbs. There are lots of other prepositions used with these same verbs that would definitely change their meaning. We just have to practice a lot to remember which prepositions are used with which verbs. However, I have compiled a short list of common verbs that are used with to, so let's have a quick look. As I mentioned, this is just a short list. There are more verbs followed by to than what you can see in this list, but these are some of the most common ones. Obviously, we have seen some of these verbs in the sentence corrections that we did a while ago. Let's briefly run through this list and have simple examples for each one. Go to. I go to the gym every weekend. Come to. Will you come to my birthday party? Drive to. Let me drive you to the airport. Journey to. The journey to the Arctic was not easy. Point to. He pointed to a house across the street. Turn to. The lady turned to the man on her right. Give to. Please give this letter to his assistant. Offer to. The manager offered the job to someone who deserved it. Send to. I will send these flowers to my mother. Adapt to. The new employee has adapted to the system quickly. Add to. Do you have anything to add to my proposal? Belong to. This jacket belongs to the man who had just left. Consent to. The patients have to consent to this procedure first. Devote to. He devotes his weekends to gardening. Happen to. What happened to your car? Lead to. This situation often leads to bad customer experiences. Listen to. I talked to him, but he won't listen to me. Explain to. The mayor explained the new rules to his staff. Object to. He objected to being called a traitor. React to. Everyone reacted to the news with shock. Refer to. He was referred to a different clinic. Reply to. Please reply to this email before Friday. Respond to. How do you want me to respond to their invitation? Speak to. May I please speak to the manager? Talk to. I wanted to talk to the staff before the party. Say to. She always knows what to say to guests to make them comfortable. Apologize to. You should apologize to that lady. Agree to. I did not agree to that plan at all. Write to. I was told to write to the manager about this complaint. I hope these examples have given you some practice material in terms of using the preposition to when it's needed. Repetition is, of course, key to getting grammar structures right. Before I sign off, I'd like to say that I'm going to continue making videos of sentence corrections showing common errors among EFL learners. So if you find these tips useful, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you'll get notified if I have a new upload. Thank you for watching and see you again next time.